Always fun, crazy. It's painful, but it's wonderful. What is the name?
It's Reusse Unchained.
All right, Reusse Unchained. The Vikings are in Dublin. They've made it over there. The final injury report came out. Van Ginkel's going to be out. We already know Donovan Jackson's going to be out for like a month at left guard. So what are you feeling? Vikings are 2.5-point favorites, Pat.
Yeah, they should be. Hey, what's Van Ginkel's problem now? He play. He
Neck.
played last week. Didn't he play last week, or did he not?
He played like
He
8
did.
snaps last week.
It's a neck problem that goes back to training camp.
That's not. Maybe if he got a haircut, he'd have a little less pressure on that neck. I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say that. He's a great player, and they're going to be missed. I don't know if I'm in favor of. If I'm a fan, I'm a loyal fan of not huge income. And now these aren't home games, so I'm not losing home games. But do you think they should be over there for 2 weeks? I'm not sure that it should be a 2-week deal.
They are experimental guinea
in.
pigs for the NFL.
Yes.
The NFL would love to keep pushing these walls out and seeing how long teams can be over there and testing out the travel.
Do you feel like we're going to have 2 franchises over there eventually, London and some other place? What do you think? It's not going to be Dublin, but...
It sounds like just some rumblings from like internal NFL meetings that they're talking about if they do it, it would be a full division. That they would do like 4 teams.
4 teams, so you'd be up to 36, which means you'd have to find 4 more probably back here. So, they'd probably be not in my time, but by 2040 maybe they might have a 40-team league. I wouldn't be surprised, would you? Then you go east, right? Then you go to Tokyo and places like that after that, probably.
I think you have a chance to still be around in 15 years. I might hit the over on that.
If I am, I won't know if I'm on foot or horseback. So,
that's probably true.
There's you got 2 options here: either not being around or not knowing you're around. Those are the 2 things, options. Yes. By the way, I got to tell you this, guys. My stepson's in this investment outfit that does a lot of promotion. So we were on a boat ride out at on St. Croix last night. They had their clients there. One of these 3-seaters, one of these 3 level ones, nice. But me coming down those steps, and they're kind of long steps. Ooh. Only took about 15 minutes to come down from the 3rd floor to the 1st floor. Took me 3 minutes to get up and 15 minutes to get out.
No!
It would be bad to buy on a dime.
You could have just jumped into the water, and they could have sent a life raft for you. It might have been quicker.
I'm a very good swimmer. I could have done that. I would have gotten ashore quicker. I'll tell you that if I had done that. So anyway, football. I think they're good. I think they're good. I think they're going to. They're not 14-3 this year, but I think they'll win the division. I said that at the start. I thought they'd win the division, and I still feel that way because although I must say that the Lions have looked a little more put together than I thought they would be.
Yeah, their offense the last 2 weeks is every bit what it was last year. So they're kind of back.
And it's what do they got now? They lost Ragnow, but they got other injuries in the offensive line too. They're playing
the guards. They lost their. They lost one guard. They lost Zeitler to Tennessee, and then they had to move another guard to center. But those guards in the game on Monday night played really well. So
and they were both rookies or new guys, right?
One's a rookie.
Yeah. Well, they were killing them, and I gotta admit, I kind of thought it was nonsense. The whole they lost their 2 coordinators, blah blah blah. I'm a firm believer that it's the players, but football has managed to create this situation, and I've talked about this before, where if the offense stinks, it's the offensive coordinator's fault, and if the defense stinks, it's the defensive coordinator's fault. So it takes a while to get to the coach, right? To whoever invented those titles is a genius, because it saved them 2-3 years from getting fired. But it's obviously that they have replaced their coordinators. That's not a big problem. But the Vikings over there, what time? Kickoff 8:30.
8:30. Yeah.
8:30, man. What does that do to the local bars? Does it? Do we get the? What time can you start serving alcohol now in Minnesota?
I don't know. I know that you're welcome to stop by. We're doing a watch party at Padrigs in Northeast, the home of Judd. Judd has two homes: his home in the West Metro, and then Padrigs. And we're opening at 8:00. So.
And you can start. I might stop over. What's that? Where is that one? I don't know where that one is.
It's off like Broadway and Central, basically, right?
Northeast Minneapolis.
Right?
Yep.
All right. Well, there's no better place to be drinking it early in the morning than Northeast Minneapolis. That's for sure.
Well, let's go.
It's probably my favorite part of town. I think it's fantastic, Northeast, and that'll be good. You'll have a big you'll get a big crowd there. I'll bet you. So,
yeah, it's going to be. So. Do you think this is going to be? So Aaron Rodgers kind of downplayed that he's like, hey, me and Kevin have been friends. We were just catching up as friends this offseason. It was all overblown. Do you think deep down, vindictive Aaron Rodgers wants to stick it to the Vikings for not signing him this summer?
I'm wondering. Do you think he wanted? I bet in his ego now is he like Favre? Is he got the same competitive edge? I know he's a competitor, but does he want to have to come in here and try to, beat Green Bay? Does he? Do you think he had that same instinct that Favre had?
I think he does. I think he
different guy, but yes, definitely did.
Well, then yes, because he knows he was. Then yes, he would be upset because this was where he'd want to be because he'd know they had the talent to beat. He had the talent. He had JJ, for God's sake. That's probably the main reason he would have wanted to be here was Jefferson, and knowing that if Addison stays away from his car, he'll be around eventually. So that they could
stays away from his car.
By the way, especially out there, because you have to drive on the left side of the road out there. So even more reason. Listen, Jordan, stay away from the car.
The first time I was there was with my bride, and we landed in Edinburgh, and we took off. And within a mile, I had pulled over and had her driving. I didn't know where in the hell I was. That left side, I don't. You get on one of those roundabouts on the road and don't know where you're supposed to be.
You gotta go this.
I had no chance.
Those are hard enough now.
Yeah, that's right.
Normal driving.
Yes, they are. They're
roundabouts. I mean,
fantastic.
You gotta.
But that's great. They, hey, that's the game so early. The Star Tribune will be able to get it in the paper. That'll be fantastic.
Yeah, it'll be at the bottom of the page, just like last week, though.
Right. Yeah, right. So, I mean, I bet the viewership is like, it's always off the charts, but I bet it, it's gonna set up football for a day of viewing in this town. That's unbelievable. What are they?
It is.
People will be watching from 8 a.m. They'll be at Padrigs from 8 a.m. to 11 p.m.
Yeah. So. Well, it's the rare dueling early games because aren't the Gophers Rutgers is an 11 a.m. game tomorrow too. Mm-hmm. So you got 11 a.m. tomorrow, and then you got 8:30 a.m. on Sunday.
What's your excitement level for the Gophers and Rutgers?
Well, Pat, did you read the Star Tribune story that PJ Fleck declared that the Gophers won their bye week?
They won their bye week. Yes.
So my time is off the charts.
They didn't lose it. We know that.
You know how tough bye is? That bye week is rough.
He's nuts, but I think sometimes he's just having fun BSing, right? And seeing how much people will swallow, how much they're eat up. I think he's nuts. But
what's funny, Pat? I was my Twitter algorithm brought me down a Wisconsin Badgers football rabbit hole. And they are like that. they are pissed about the state of Badgers football right now.
Sure.
And then Barry Alvarez is on a radio show telling fans that they're spoiled. But I saw a couple prominent Badgers football blog or podcast people on Twitter saying, listen, PJ Fleck is corny and we make fun of him, but you know what? At least he's built a real football culture over there. They're jealous of PJ Fleck in Wisconsin.
Well, it cost them tens of millions to fire Paul Chryst because he had a couple of 7-4 seasons or something like that. He was a cheap date. He was a low key guy, but he could coach, and he had some great teams over there. And this Chris McIntosh replaced Barry. Or I think there might have been. Was there somebody in between, or was it directly Barry? Yeah, Barry to this guy who was a former football player, and he thought he was a genius and was going to get Fickle in there. And winning at Cincinnati is a little different than winning in the Big 18. I want to tell you.
The Big 18. Yeah.
I wonder if there's still. The students are still out there drinking 20,000 of them and then showing up at the start of the second quarter. They might not even be coming in anymore. So,
Wisconsin.
The days of Don Morton, Royce. We're back to Don Morton and Crazy Legs Hirsch as the AD.
Yes, I told you my Don Martin story that I'm walking around with him down there when he's getting ready to play Wacky, and I think between them they have 2 victories that year, and it's like the end of the season. And we're walking through the trophy room, and there's some people in there looking at the trophies. And he walks in. There's like 8 people. They turn their heads away from us into the, to look at the trophies, like they don't see Morton walking through there. And I said, that's not a good sign. That the fans don't even want to look at him. So that was, and he got fired after that game, and I think Wacky did too. I think they beat us actually that day, and it was a battle of pretty much winless teams. So
Wisconsin. So last year they missed a bowl game for the first time since 2001, which they had just kind of a random 5-win season, but. They spent a lot of time poking at us Gophers over here for all the crappy bowl games. You know what, Wisconsin? Life comes at you fast. Here's the 4 bowl games they most recently went to are the Duke's Mayo Bowl, the Las Vegas Bowl, the Guaranteed Rate Bowl, and the ReliaQuest Bowl before missing a bowl. Yeah.
That's very Gopher-like now.
Yeah, it is, to say the least. But Rutgers, they got our old quarterback, Kaliak Manis, and he beat us last year, but they're not very good. You beat them at home. There's no doubt about that. I wouldn't think. Is there?
Sure about that?
I mean, there's definitely some doubt. There's definitely some doubt.
That Cal game scared me because San Diego State went and kicked Cal's ass last Saturday.
Not only did one of the best freshman quarterbacks we've ever seen get shut out by San Diego State, so that was a bad sign. Yes, that's not good for your whatever computer rankings we use now. That because they do some comparison of scores. That's not. But I got to think tickets are available for tomorrow. Although this gorgeous weather, man, are you going to be drinking with Babu tomorrow then, Judd, or not?
No, I might go press box though.
Okay, you might go press box, but you're not going to get there for the early cocktails, huh? So
11 a.m. kickoffs, man. Those are tough to get to the kickoff, much less the tailgate.
that is true. Say, I want to bring up one thing. As an old Blakesley guy, Judd, did you see that they're going to replace Blakesley? Glenn Taylor gave him a bunch of money. Adam Thielen gave him some money. Yeah. So how about that? Adam Thielen giving money to Mankato State, and Carson Wentz won't give any to North Dakota State. That's kind of interesting, no? So, but Thielen's giving him enough money with his organization to have the front gate named after him, and Glenn's giving them enough money to have the stadium named after him. And they're going to, I think, what do they think? They're going to start in 27 and have it done maybe for 29. They're going to have the new stadium. But, man, that's a going athletic department down there. They got great facilities. And they got.
So it's going to be called Taylor Stadium? Or
I think it's Glenn and Becky. Taylor
Okay.
Stadium, the Clinton Becky facility or something. But it's supposed to be like neat enough to have concerts and all that kind of stuff. Anyone who's ever attended an event in Blakesley is in favor of a new stadium.
Yeah.
Uh,
I do feel bad for
God.
Carlin P. Blakesley, who we're just casting aside as
yes, right.
the
Yes,
as a
they'll have a
name.
little plaque there and say this used to be Blakesley Stadium, but we ran out of his money. Damn it!
Where's the
So
stadium going? Same
I
same
think
site?
I think so, which means I don't know where they're going to play for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Maybe Gustavus or someplace, or I don't know. They got one good sized high school stadium down there
They
too.
should
So
play at TCO Performance Center. That's what they should do. It'd
they
be a
could.
bit of a
Everybody's
drive,
a lot
but
of high school people are playing there. That is for sure.
Pat,
So
my brother-in-law is a freshman playing at St. Olaf this year for football. I made my first
oh,
trip down there 3 weeks ago, and on the opener when it was rainy and freezing. That was my first trip down to
should be
Northfield.
there tomorrow.
Oh, you
They're
are? Okay.
playing the Olies and the Carls
Yeah.
at. I got a column that's going to be posted at 2 o'clock today. I was going to go down there and write a nice little goat game. St. Olaf and Carleton are separated by 1.6 miles in
Yeah.
Northfield. They've been playing for 100 years. So I find out Tuesday, somebody sends me an email. The quarterback who is playing for Carleton has lymphoma, and he's being treated for it. And on Mondays he goes to Mayo Clinic to get chemo put in his chest. And Tuesdays he's not in too good a shape. Wednesdays he's not. Last week was not a chemo week, so he threw 6 touchdown passes against a guy named Jack Curtis from Florida. He threw 6 touchdown passes against Mighty Mac last week. This week's a chemo week, but he's playing the Olies. He won't miss it. Anyway, I wrote a column. I think they're going to post it this afternoon. A great kid. And,
wow.
if you've ever met anyone from Carleton, you feel diminished when you're talking to them because they're all like, your percentile of, I think 15% that apply get in there, and but it's an amazing place, and but that's the game you should be going to. Not only that, Declan, Ole's, but they got Laird Stadium has been there since like 1920. And it was huge back in the day. Carlton football had like a mini memorial stadium down there in the
Wow.
1920s, I think. And but it's yeah, it's it. I got to tell you this: about 25 years ago, I was down there covering a game. That's not long ago, and across, it kind of sits down lower by the river, Laird Stadium, and across the highway, there's the academic buildings, and a bunch of very bright St. Olaf fans, not St. Olaf fans, Carleton fans. The St. Thomas was there, and on the far sideline, they got up there with water cannon, and they had a water cannon going, shooting water balloons down on the St. Thomas team during the game, and everybody went nuts.
I love
And
that.
they had it. They apparently got up there like a day before to make sure they had the right range and the stuff, and they were splashing it on top of them. About 20 people were going nuts. And they finally were pointing there, and then the cops started going, and they all ran off the roof. But very bright kids, those Carleton guys. They don't just shoot water balloons. They study they
The
study
physics and
water
the
balloons.
angle of the wind. So the wind is blowing northeast at 8 miles an hour. Okay.
They also had an all-campus softball tournament. Everybody had played in this softball tournament, and this was so long ago that politically correctness was okay, right? The name of every team was offensive, right? The worst was Gacy's Insulation was a team for John Wayne Gacy, who they found all those bodies
Jeez.
in Chicago in there. That
Wow.
was the name of that was the name of, and I believe I got that in the paper back then. That was so long ago. They would now they would now fire you on the spot if you.
Yeah, I don't think
typed
that. I don't think that reference makes it to.
No,
Well, if it makes it to
not
print,
anymore.
then you don't get to write anymore. Is
I
yeah.
think what that tells me is how damn long I've been around. That's what that tells me. Hey, what's okay? Have Declan text me the name of that place. I'll be there tomorrow Sunday morning. I'll show up.
Okay.
Padres. Yeah, yeah,
Padres. Yep.
for sure.
Okay.
All right, Pat. Enjoy your beautiful football weekend.
Hey, by the way, one last thing. I text both you guys.
Oh,
Buxton, Buxton, man, it is a tragedy that this season stinks so bad that he shows up for his last home game this season and there's like 18,000 people there.
Yeah.
That guy should have had a roaring standing ovation from 40,000 people for his last game this year. It's been phenomenal.
It is, yeah.
When you
It's
go
one. It
back-
is one of the great stories and seasons in Twins history, considering the context, and it's just buried.
2 years ago, well, he'll never be able to play in the field again. We'll have to figure something out. It's unbelievable, right, Judd? It's incredible.
The best part, though, Patrick, is that if he finishes top 10 in MVP voting, $3 million.
Cost him $3 million. Yeah. Now, if and some other incentives too. If they call, if Joe Pohlad calls up Rocco and tells him to bench him, I think that'd be bad PR, don't you? For the last 3 games in Philly,
it's probably too late though.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
top 10. I mean, he'll probably finish top 10.
He will finish top 10. $3 million. Good for him.
It's awesome, man. The only thing that I wish they would have or he would have emphasized, and maybe he will this weekend if he gets on base enough. He needs 6 more stolen bases still to get to a 30-30 season.
Yeah.
And he has not been caught. 24 steals, no caught stealings this year for
Never
him.
had a caught, really.
0 caught stealings.
It is incredible. He's running as fast as he was when he was an 18-year-old kid. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. Okay. It's really cool. So
right,
go
guys.
Twins. Yeah.
See you Sunday.
Sounds good. All right, Pat. There he is. Reusse Unchained on Score North.